Hi, my name is Deborah Henney. I'm a wife, author, mother, speaker. Today I want to release a prophetic word I received back in January of 2023, about the mid-January, the 15th, and then kind of more got released on the 18th. And before I get into the word, which is called My Beloved, I want to read a few verses that God highlighted that went with the word that He gave me. The first one is Deuteronomy 7:7-8. It says, "The Lord did not make you His beloved, nor choose you because you were greater in number than any of the peoples, since you were the fewest of all peoples. But because the Lord loved you and kept the oath which He swore to your forefathers, the Lord brought you out by a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of slavery, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt." And then again in Deuteronomy 33, verse 12, "May the beloved of the Lord live in security beside him, who shields him all day long, and he lives between his shoulders." And then Psalm 60, verses 4-5, "You have given a banner to those who fear you, that it may be displayed because of the truth, that your beloved may be rescued. Save us with your right hand and answer us." Now I love, first of all, in Deuteronomy, how it says that God chose them as His beloved, not because they did anything or they were anything. He says, I chose you just because I loved you. And, that's so true for us today that, He doesn't choose us because of anything we do or anything that we really are apart from just being us. He loves us because He made us, and that's enough. He chose us to love us. But anyway, let me get to the word that He gave me, and that is called, as I said, My Beloved. He said, "You are my beloved. Hear my voice calling out to you. Come up here. Come deeper into my depths and into my chambers. Come, stand in my grace. You'll be overwhelmed by the beauty and the glory in this place. My goodness and my presence go before you, behind you, and are forever all around you. Know that I will never stop fighting for you, my beloved. I will never stop fighting the forces that try to overcome you. Look at me and see me as your protector and shelter. I will never stop fighting for you, for freedom in your heart, for I see even the things hidden from your sight and your senses. I see the things you call comfort, but I call bondage. I am calling you out. I am drawing you out. Receive the revelation of my love. Live in the revelation of my beloved. Find your comfort and shelter in me, not the bonds you have grown accustomed to, and seek out for support and strength. I offer you true strength, true power, true freedom, and I will never stop fighting for you to live in it. Even when you feel like giving up, even when you feel like giving in, even when you don't see the bonds, I will never stop pursuing you, fighting for you. I will never stop fighting for your freedom and your affection. For in your love for me, you will find true freedom that runs deeper than a spring that will burst forth, gushing life. I have fought since the very beginning, and I will fight to the very end. I will fight so you can see yourself as my beloved, so you can hear my voice calling and even whispering. Come alive as I raise you up in the fire of my presence. I'm reaching my hands out and lifting you up, raising you up in radiance and glory. Let my fire blaze from within you, making ash of any entrapments, entanglements, and snares, and dance. Dance in the light of my glory. Dance to my song in your heart. As you dance, the fire of my glory will grow brighter and stronger, illuminating and eradicating darkness. Dance, my beloved. Dance in my love and just be. Be my beloved. Okay, so here I love, honestly, I got this word before I found the verses. And He released this word in my heart. And then He said, go look up verses where I call my people beloved. And it was so neat to see how God, the theme in this verse just matched the Bible so closely. How, he fights for us because he loves us. He fights not only for us to live in freedom, but he fights for our affection because he loves us. He talks about, in the verse in, where is it? Deuteronomy 33:12, how he lives between his shoulders. And in the prophetic word he gave me, he says, I'm calling you deeper into my depths and into my chambers. The sense that I got that was that it wasn't necessarily like a chamber, like a room in a house. It was more like a chamber in the heart. So and of course the heart is in between the shoulders. So he's calling us deeper into the very depths of his heart and the inside of his heart, and what makes his heart beat, and that rhythm of his heartbeat is where he's calling us to stand. And in that place we'll be overwhelmed by beauty and by glory. And the things of this world, the hurts, the wounds, life circumstances that happen, they just become ash, because in God's presence, he's an all-consuming fire, right? The Bible talks about God is an all-consuming fire, and he consumes anything and everything that is not of him. So our wounds, they're not from him. He doesn't want them in our lives. Our bondages that we call comfort, we're all people. We all kind of have these ways of behaving or thinking or feeling that are comfortable to us, that aren't necessarily from God, but we run to them because they're familiar. And God says, you know what? You call it comfort, but I call it bondage. He said, I want more for you. I want you to live in true freedom and to experience what it really is that I paid for you, that I went to the cross to fight for you and to buy for you. I am calling you out of that comfort and out of that faulty default and out of those patterns of behavior and thinking that are holding you hostage. And I'm calling you out, drawing you out. And the way that we do that is to receive deeper revelations of his love, to live in the revelation of being the beloved of God. And at the end of the prophecy here, he had me write, be loved. That he's like, the sense there was that we don't have to do anything to be loved by God. We just are. And the sense with that was, he said, just be. Just be in my presence. Just be. Yes, he asks us to do things, but he doesn't ask us to do things so that he will love us anymore. Our doing things for him is more our expression of love back to him, but it doesn't cause him to love us anymore because we do or don't do things. He just loves us just because we are. And it's like he's calling us and drawing us to be and to live in that revelation of just be. Just be. And I love how God says that he's never going to stop pursuing us, fighting for our freedom, for our affection. And that true freedom is going to run deeper than a spring that's going to burst forth gushing life. And this is not the first time I've had a sense of this deep, deep wellspring of freedom, life, and glory that's going to come bursting forth. The senses, it's like a geyser that's going to come bursting forth out of the deepest parts of who we are. But in order for that freedom and that life to come bursting forth out of the deepest parts of who we are, we need to let God go into the deepest parts of who we are and give us healing and freedom and a revelation of God in those places, revelation of his love in those places, a revelation that we are beloved even in those deepest places in our hearts, because that's when that freedom and life are going to burst forth from us And it's going to be life-changing, not just for us. It's going to impact those around us because it's going to gush forth life. And I love how he says too, so you can hear my voice calling and even whispering. And it's a sense there that we're going to be so attuned to his voice and his to his voice that he's not just going to have to call us out. He can just whisper, and we will recognize it like that. And he's calling us alive. This is a sense that I've had so many times in worship services on Sunday morning. He says, come alive, come alive. He's calling us to come alive in his presence. And he's raising us up in fire, in his all-consuming fire, because he wants all the junk to become ash. And he's going to raise us up in his fire, in his glory, that's going to burn brighter and stronger and bring light into the darkness. But it starts by just being and knowing, just because we are loved, that we are beloved. So, blessings.